You go to sleep on a normal Tuesday night. The waves are crashing somewhere. Ships are sailing across the Atlantic. Millions of fish are doing whatever fish do. And then morning comes, and the ocean is gone. Not frozen, not polluted, just gone. Every single drop of it. Evaporated overnight. This is what would actually happen. The first thing you would notice is the smell. Or rather, the complete absence of it. That familiar salty ocean breeze. It would vanish before the water did. What replaces it is harder to describe. Imagine the inside of an old shell. Dry, ancient, and very wrong. Now let's talk numbers. The ocean holds 1.335 billion cubic kilometers of water. That is a number that means nothing until you picture it. Imagine filling every football stadium on Earth with water. Now do that 4 billion times. That is still not enough. For all of that to evaporate in one night, the energy required would be incomprehensible. We are talking about more heat than the sun produces in several days. Directed entirely at Earth's oceans. In 8 hours. The planet would not survive the process. But let's ignore that part for now. Let's say it just happened. Quietly. Overnight. You wake up. You walk outside. And the horizon looks different. Flat in a way it never was before. Because where the sea used to end, there is now a valley. The deepest valley in human history. The Mariana Trench drops nearly 11 kilometers down. That is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. And now it is just a hole. An enormous, exposed, silent hole in the planet. The ocean floor has never seen sunlight. Ever. In the entire history of Earth. And now it is just sitting there. Cracked and dark and alien. Mountains taller than the Alps. Completely unknown to us. Now exposed to open air for the first time. But here is where things start going very wrong very fast. The atmosphere is in trouble. About half of the oxygen we breathe comes from the ocean. Not from trees. From tiny marine organisms called phytoplankton. And they are now dead. Every single one of them. Oxygen levels would begin dropping within days. Not dramatically at first. But enough that you would start to notice at high altitudes. The weather system would collapse almost immediately. Oceans regulate temperature across the entire planet. They absorb heat during summer. They release it during winter. Without them, the temperature swings would become extreme. Coastal cities that used to enjoy mild climates would experience brutal winters. And summers that feel like standing next to a furnace. Rain would stop. Not all at once. But the water cycle is driven by ocean evaporation. No ocean means no evaporation. No evaporation means no clouds. No clouds means no rain. Within weeks, every river on Earth would begin to shrink. Within months, most would be dry. The Amazon would become a dusty corridor. The Nile would crack and split into powder. The Mississippi would be a memory. Freshwater lakes would be next. They are fed by rivers and rain. With both gone, they would shrink and then disappear. Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake on Earth, would last longer than most. But even it would go eventually. Agriculture would collapse in under a year. Most crops need consistent rainfall. Irrigation systems depend on rivers. Rivers depend on rain. Rain depends on the ocean. The chain breaks at the very first link. Now let's talk about the exposed ocean floor. It would not stay quiet for long. The weight of the ocean water is enormous. It presses down on the tectonic plates beneath it. Remove that weight suddenly, and the plates would start to shift. We would see volcanic eruptions on a scale we have never witnessed. Earthquakes along every coastline on the planet. The exposed ocean floor itself might crack and split open, releasing gases trapped deep beneath the crust for millions of years. Some of those gases would be toxic. Hydrogen sulfide. Carbon dioxide in concentrations that could suffocate entire regions. The sky would change color. Not in a beautiful way. Within a few weeks, the exposed ocean floor would begin to dry. The sediment left behind would be massive. Trillions of tons of salt, minerals, and organic material. Baked by the sun, ground into dust by the wind, and then blown across every continent on Earth. Global salt storms. Constant. Relentless. Covering farmland, cities, forests. Most land animals would be dead within 6 months. humans would be fighting over the last freshwater reserves. Underground aquifers would become the most valuable thing on Earth. More valuable than oil. More valuable than gold. More valuable than anything. The insects would outlast us. They always do. Certain bacteria would survive deep underground. Life does not give up easily. But the world they would inherit would be unrecognizable. A dry, salt-covered, airless rock. Slowly cooling. Slowly dying. Here is the strange part. Earth without oceans already exists in our solar system. It is called Mars. Mars once had oceans, enormous ones. About 3.5 billion years ago, Mars lost its magnetic field. Without it, the solar wind stripped away the atmosphere. Without the atmosphere, the oceans evaporated into space. What was left is what we see today. Red, cold, empty. Earth is not Mars because of one thing. Our magnetic field is still active. Our oceans are still here. And tonight, while you sleep, the waves will still be crashing somewhere. Ships will still be sailing. And millions of fish will still be doing whatever fish do. Which, it turns out, is keeping us alive.